All right, I am just Blane, and this is Courtney Pearl, and we are ready to guide you through the upside down. Crank up the synth and dive into Hawkins, Indiana. Today, we're recapping Stranger Things Season 1, episode by episode, with a sprinkle of 80s nostalgia. Think Eggo waffles, D&D dice, and maybe a little E.T. magic. So grab your walkie-talkies, because we're starting with Chapter 1. Chapter 1, The Vanishing of Will Byers. An 8.5 on IMDb, and this is what happens. Picture this. Hawkins, 1983. 4 kids finish a D&D campaign. That's Dungeons and Dragons for those of you out there who aren't too familiar with the D&D acronym. After they get done, Will Byers vanishes faster than your favorite cassette tape in a Walkman. Meanwhile, Joyce, that's his mom, starts freaking out. Hopper's like, probably nothing. He's the sheriff of the town. And 11 shows up to a diner like she just escaped from a John Carpenter movie. This episode matters because it sets the tone. Small town vibes meets supernatural chaos. It's Steven Spielberg meets Stephen King.
Episode 2, the D&D gang hide 11 in Mike's house. Just like in E.T., Mom doesn't even notice this strange alien girl walking around the house. Joyce gets creepy phone calls that end up burning up her phone. And you know those weren't cheap back in the day. Jonathan is a peeping Tom, taking pictures in the woods, and Barb gets disappeared.
That's the Weirdo on Maple Street, Chapter 2, an 8.3 on IMDb. On to Chapter 3, Holly Jolly, an 8.8 on IMDb. Joyce goes full 80s mom warrior, shredding up Christmas lights to talk to Will. That alphabet wall, instant pop culture icon, Nancy starts looking for Barb, and 11 drops more hints about the upside down. This episode is important because it's the moment Stranger Things becomes a phenomenon. Also, nothing says 80s horror like flickering lights and ominous phone calls.
Episode 4, there's a body. But Joyce is adamant that it is not her son, even though it looks just like him. Hopper finds out it's a large, life-size stuffy of Will, and there's a major cover-up going on. 11 makes a boy pee his pants.
Chapter 4, The Body. IMDb 8.9 on that episode. Let's get to Chapter 5, The Flea and the Acrobat. An 8.6 is what this one got. Mr. Clark gives the kids a science lesson straight out of a Carl Sagan special. Alternate dimensions, baby. Hopper breaks into the lab, and the kids start planning to find a gate. This episode is key because it explains the upside down and sets up a rescue mission. Also, can we talk about how every 80s movie had to have that one cool science teacher? Mr. Clark, he's that guy.
Well, cool is loose, but okay. Episode 6, Nancy and Jonathan team up to go monster hunting. 11 steals Eggo waffles from the grocery store and saves Mike as he's jumping off of a cliff. Brings him right back, flying in the sky. Joyce and Hopper find out who Jane is.
What an iconic moment that was when she picked him and stopped him in the air. That's wild. That's The Monster, Chapter 6. IMDb gave that one an 8.8. On to Chapter 7, The Bathtub. A 9.0 on this episode from IMDb, where the gang builds a sensory deprivation tank in a kiddie pool. DIY science at its finest. 11 goes full superhero mode to find Will and Barb. While the government closes in like every 80s conspiracy thriller ever, this episode is crucial because it shows 11's full power and sets up the finale. Also, shout out to the synth score. It's pure VHS gold.
Episode 8, Final Showdown at the School. 11 sacrifices herself. The hero. Love that girl. She's so badass. Yeah. Will returns, but he's puking up slugs. Something's not quite right. Ends on a cliffhanger.
That's Chapter 8, The Upside Down. IMDb's rating of a 9.0 I agree with. And that's Season 1 in a nutshell. Stranger Things gave us bikes, walkie-talkies, and enough synth to power a DeLorean.